What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and today I'm back to talk to you about Warhammer 40k, more specifically, the epic content that the Warhammer community has been putting out, where we have epic death matches between the amazing characters throughout the eons of Warhammer. So it's really cool because they first started this with a Loyalist Battle Royale. They pitted all the Loyalist Primarchs up against each other. And if you want to see that, I've also got it on the channel. I'll link it at the end of this video. And they did one for the Traitors, and then the winners of those two went at it. Not just that, but they continued on to make about 3 more of these, where they pit like the lightweight, middleweight, and heavyweight contestants all against each other. And man, that is some great stuff. I'm going to put links down in the description so you guys can check out all these awesome articles. But for today, sit tight because today we have quite a doozy. So what I've compiled here are all the GrimDark battles that pit the Loyalist Space Marines against the Traitor Space Marines. And man, there are some crazy battles in here. So basically what these GrimDark battles are is a 1v1 matchup between 2 warriors of the 40k universe, and I go over their feats, their weapons, their wargear, and I make a scenario as to who would win in a battle. Now, at first, the winner was decided via vote by you guys, and usually that vote always went towards the Loyalist. So, I decided to change that up a little bit, and I made the rest of the matches based on actual lore, who I thought the winner based on the lore would come out on top, and you can see that here. And at the end of the battle, we discuss why they won and how the opponent could have won in other scenarios. So let me know what you guys think about these. I do plan to continue on them. I've got one currently in the works between none other than Belisarius Cawl against the first Demon Prince, Be'lakor. So stay tuned for that. But for now, sit tight as let's enjoy these awesome clashes between Chaos and the Loyalists. Now before we get into the actual fight, let's narrow down who these combatants are. So on one side we have Dante, which is the chapter master of the Blood Angels, and as of 8th edition, he has been named the Warden of the Imperium Nihilus, essentially making him supreme commander of the northern sector of the Imperium of Man. Now he got this title by the Primarch himself, Roboute Guilliman. Now there have been countless battles that Dante has been in. So Dante has been a Space Marine for a long time, 1,600 years to be exact, and for the past 1,200 years he's been Chapter Master. During his long life, he's fought countless horrors, and he's always come out the victor. At the gates of Pandemonium, Dante fought and banished Skarbrand back into the warp. On the planet of Skylos, Dante won a battle against a Chaos Psyker who used his powers to literally steal decades away from Dante's life, aging the already old Marine. However, Dante ain't no bitch, and he cut him down. Now Dante also killed so many orcs on the planet of Canau that Imperial scribes didn't believe his kill count. He even fought against Gaskell on Armageddon. And essentially, you name it, he's fought against it, and he's won. But I will say this, more than a few times, the Sanguinor had to come in to save Dante and his Blood Angels. So even though Dante sounds like the greatest hero the Imperium have seen, he's just a Space Marine. And like all Space Marines, he's not perfect. But anyway, let's talk about his weapons and wargear. When it comes to his wargear, he dons some pretty, I guess, well-known attire. He's got an iron halo, he dons artificer armor, and he also has a jump pack. So Dante's ornate golden armor protects him from harm, while his jump pack allows him to cover much ground in a single leap. It also thrusts him into close combat just like a battering ram. And the iron halo also protects Dante through the use of a conversion field technology. Now he also wears the Desk Mask of Sanguinius. This golden artifact strikes fear in the heart of the enemy, weakening their morale and combat prowess. However, against Abaddon, I feel like this mask would literally have no benefits. But now let's jump into his weapons. He has frag and crack grenades, as well as his Perdition pistol. So this pistol is a powerful yet ancient version of an Infernus pistol. It is essentially a melta weapon that can pierce not only Terminator armor, but even the hull of a Land Raider. And now we come to his most known wargear, and that is the Axe Mortalis. So this axe is as ancient as it is deadly, and boy is it old. It's master crafted, and it has a blade that is hyperconductive, meaning it has a field that can make hacking away a foe a very easy task. So now that we know all this lore about Dante, let's jump over to his nemesis, Abaddon the Despoiler. Abaddon the Despoiler, the Chaos War Master, was the first captain of the Luna Wolves and Horus's right-hand man. However, after the heresy, he became the leader of the Black Legion, as well as War Master of all of Chaos, meaning that all four of the Chaos gods, Kharn, Slaanesh, Tzeentch, and Nurgle, empower this chaotic warrior. Now when it comes to his notable battles, there is a very big elephant in the room. So Abaddon has led a lot of crusades, 13 to be exact, but out of those 13 crusades, 12 have been failures. Or so we think. So let's begin by first realizing that Abaddon has mastered a vast force of chaos demons, primarchs, chaos marines, and all of these come from various different warbands and chaos gods. And not just that, they all hate each other. But Abaddon has made them all kind of make a temporary truce and kind of united them towards one goal. Now this is no easy task, and it's something that literally only Abaddon can do. Now yes, you could say overall these were all failures even though he united them. However, even though the main goal wasn't reached, billions of lives has been lost. And at the same time, some minor goals were also accomplished. For example, I believe it was during the second or the fourth crusade, Abaddon got his famed war weapon, Dracnian. But anyway, Abaddon has also crushed countless space marines as well as Xenos creatures throughout all these crusades. But I'd have to say that his greatest feat was when he defeated a near-perfect clone of Horus himself. When it comes to his wargear and weaponry, this ancient cataphractii Terminator armor is worn by Abaddon. So it has chaotic runes and it protects Abaddon from literally almost all mortal weaponry. On top of that, he also has Dracnian. Some call it a thorn in reality, others the shard of madness, and they are both correct. This demon sword slices clean through Land Raiders, draining the souls of the men inside. Literally all material objects would essentially be smoke compared to the blade. That's how easily it cuts through anything. And finally, he also has the Talon of Horus. This famed weapon of Horus now lies upon Abaddon's right hand. It is a lightning claw equipped with a combi bolter. This weapon mortally wounded the Emperor, and it also ended the life of the Primarch Sanguinius, a feat that I'm sure Dante will never forget. So now that we know the lore, the weaponry, and the battles behind these two combatants, let's dive into this epic, grim, dark battle. Death and evil loom in the air. The Colosseum spectators are all uneasy at having such a foul and demonic being in their vicinity. However, this fight will continue. The gates open, and the two Astartes step out into the battlefield. In the name of Sanguinius, I shall vanquish you from existence. This will end just like the battle upon Horus's flagship did 10,000 years ago. Dante grips his axe Mortalis and charges forward, his jump pack propelling him like a golden comet. Talons clash against axe. Shing, shing, shing. With a quick thrust, Dante narrowly avoids Abaddon's Dracnian. At all costs, he cannot take a blow from this demonic sword. Not even his axe can parry it. Dante charges in once again, tackling the Despoiler. However, Abaddon catches him and tosses him to the ground with a mighty thud. He laughs as he unloads his combi bolter into the fallen Blood Angel. Dante's Iron Halo absorbs most of this damage. Slash! Yet another epic miss by Dracnian. Dante fires a few shots from his Infernus pistol. However, Abaddon's armor swallows the melta charge whole. Stop these mere attacks already. Your foolish Primarch wishes to see you again. But I won't give you that luxury, Dante. Dracnian will feast on your soul for all eternity. These mere taunts don't faze the ancient Space Marine. Instead, Dante tosses all of his frag and crack grenades at Abaddon, showering him in an explosion of shrapnel. Knowing this wouldn't harm the Chaos War Master, Dante uses the dust from his explosion to cover his ascent into the sky. And with the force of an avenging angel, Dante hammers his axe deep into Abaddon. By the powers of the 4 Chaos Gods, Abaddon narrowly avoids death, the axe instead cutting deep into his shoulder. In retaliation, the talon of Horus pierces Dante's abdomen. Blood drips from these wounds as Abaddon laughs. Dante struggles to free himself, his vision now getting blurry. But just then, he sees his Primarch's face. He feels his battle brother's determination to avenge Sanguinius, and he knows he has to win, even if it means losing his sanity. Dante grips the axe which is still embedded in Abaddon's armor, and with a blood-curdling yell, he slices clean through his shoulder and severs Abaddon's arm. The black rage has consumed Dante, and in this rage, he pulls out the talon of Horus from himself. Using both the axe and the lightning claws, he overwhelms Abaddon in a fury of attacks, and finally he lands another devastating blow, this time taking Abaddon's other arm. Now armless, Dante plunges Horus's talons straight through Abaddon's skull. The winner of this grimdark battle is Dante. And there you have it, guys. Dante is the winner of this battle. So, after doing the whole poll, you guys chose Dante to win with a whopping 66%, meaning that Abaddon only had 34% of your vote. Now, I am part of that minority. At first, I didn't see any way that Dante could best the Chaos War Master. I felt like Abaddon was just too empowered by the Chaos Gods, and Dante's just a chapter master. Yes, he's ancient. Yes, he's had countless battles, but so is Abaddon. And Abaddon, not only that, but he has Dracnian. This blade can literally cut clean through force fields, clean through armor, and not only that, but it'll steal your soul. So this was a very, very difficult battle to kind of piece out, but all in all, I mean, it ended the way it did. Making fun at Abaddon the Armless, Failbaddon. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys thought about this epic battle. On one side, we have the Space Wolf, the Man Mountain, Arjac Rockfist, going up against the mouthpiece of Abaddon the Despoiler, Haarken World Claimer. The way we will go through this is we will first look at their weapons, their war gear, and their notable battles throughout their lifespans, as then we will go into an epic battle that I myself has come up with. The way it's decided is, in many ways, for one, the lore. Depending on which, I guess, lore has the most wins, the most brutal weaponry, and also via polls. We do polls via Facebook as well as on the YouTube page, where you guys can help decide who comes out the victor. But for now, let's dive into this grimdark battle. And let us begin with Haarken. Haarken World Claimer is a Black Legion Raptor Lord, who is known best as the Herald of the Apocalypse. He would proclaim the destruction of worlds, who would soon be visited by none other than the Despoiler, Abaddon. He descends upon his enemies via his consecrated jump pack. This jump pack is an older model that was used in conjunction with Mark II Crusade pattern power armor during the Great Crusade era. With the bolstered speed of the jump pack, Haarken pierces his enemies with his Power Claw. His gruesome display of death and dismemberment is a sign of what's to come when Abaddon sets his sights on the doomed planet. Besides being one of the Black Legion's best fighters, he is an expert linguist and a scholar of many chaotic knowledge. He studied the Grimoire Nostramo, which was written by none other than the Primarch Conrad Kurz, as well as the Clouded Scrolls, which explain how the World Eaters and Angron are able to decimate entire planets so easily. But his most extraordinary act is reading part of the Book of Magnus and keeping his sanity. Well, most of it at least. With these tomes of chaos, he meticulously picks his words as he spouts verses of utter terror via his Vox amplifier, which then sends men into despair. Those unfortunate enough to not surrender are usually driven to suicide. Haarken is known as the Herald of the Apocalypse, for once he has visited a planet, they are now on a time limit. For 80 days from his visitation, the despoiler shall arrive. But until then, any forms of resistance will be met at the pointed end of his demon-touched weapon, the Hellspear. Countless kings, Xenos monarchs, and even other chaotic lords have fallen to his favorite weapon. Once their blood has spilled upon the world, the Hellspear is driven deep into the planet, for it has been claimed by chaos. And not once has a planet that has been claimed ever resisted the destruction of Abaddon. Sounds pretty terrifying, huh? But now, let's move on to his opponent, Arjac, Rockfist. Arjac is the Wolf Guard of the Space Wolves Space Marines, and he is the personal champion of the Great Wolf, Logan Grimnar. He is massive even for that of a Space Marine, and he's been given the nickname of the Man Mountain and Fenris's Anvil. Arjac was just a smith as a Fenrisian tribesman, and once he became elevated to a Space Marine, he started off as an Iron Priest. He then chose to fight against insurmountable odds when 1,000 kraken beasts emerged from the depths of Fenrisian seas. These beasts are rumored to be ancient Tyranid life forms, but anyway, these are some of the deadliest creatures upon the planet. For nearly 2 hours, Arjac single-handedly fought off the beasts, so much so that he was practically buried in a mountain of their fleshy carcasses. Due to this unbelievable feat, Logan Grimnar named him his personal champion right then and there. Ever since this fateful day, he has been a pivotal warrior during many battles, laying low demons by the hundreds, as well as taking on entire Tyranid hordes, while also placing his life on the line to save his fellow battle brothers. Arjac is usually leading the King's Guard into battle, carrying his signature Thunderhammer and Storm Shield combo. The Anvil Shield is a massive storm shield made of adamantium-laced obstinate that he often uses as a weapon more so than just an impenetrable defense. But like I said, his signature weapon is that of the Foe Hammer, and it is more than what it appears to be. For using his immense strength, he can throw the Thunderhammer as a ranged weapon, and upon this hammer, integrated to it, is a built-in teleporter, which brings it right back to him, ready to strike another foe down. With that being said, we have the groundwork for an epic battle. Place your bets now as we jump in to the battle between Haarken World Claimer and Arjac Rockfist. A shadow streaks across the Fenrisian sky as Arjac tells the Kingsguard to alert Grimnar of the arrival of Abaddon's mouthpiece. He picks up his massive hammer and he heads out towards a clearing near a forest. A whistling noise gets louder and louder as the Space Wolf turns around and he grabs the Hellspear.
You will not desecrate the soils of Fenris with this foul demon weapon, traitor.
Arjac then tosses back the spear as Haarken descends from the tree line.
Our battle means nothing. The despoiler is already on his way. Fenris will fall, and it's only a matter of time.
Foehammer then crashes through the World Claimer's chest as he hurls into the frost-laden forest. Trees break in half at the sheer force of the attack. The hammer then disappears, and Haarken finally is able to catch his breath, but then blood starts pouring from his mouth. Thunderous stomps can be heard getting closer and closer as Arjac is now running to deliver yet another thunderous blow. The World Claimer gets to its feet just before the heavy arc of the hammer makes contact. A massive crater forms at the shockwave, but Haarken has already counterattacked, his lightning claws digging their way through Arjac's Terminator armor. Rockfist's right side begins to bleed, but this means nothing to him as he lifts his anvil shield and brings it down upon the lightning claw, shattering Haarken's arm. Again and again he brings down his storm shield until crack! Haarken's right arm is ripped from his shoulder. The Black Legionnaire ignites his jump pack as he tries to put distance between himself and this massive space marine. But down comes Foehammer once again. The Hellsphere ignites in warp flame as he tries to parry the blow, and in that same motion, Haarken drives the spear into Arjac's midsection. Blood pours from the giant's mouth, but in a blood-curdling yell, he brings his hammer above his head, ready to strike the final blow. Just then, the jump pack roars, and the thrust sends his spear clean through Arjac, as warp flame engulfs the marine, charring him from the inside out. The World Claimer kicks the dead, yet still standing Space Wolf down, and as his body falls upon the crimson-stained snow, so too does the Hellspear, impaling the Fenrisian ground.
80 days.
The winner, Haarken World Claimer. There you have it, guys. That was the epic battle between these two warriors. So, it could have gone either way. The lore is so epic for both of these guys. For one, you have the champion of Logan Grimnar, this massive man, who, as you see his lore come to life, it really reminds you of the Mountain from Game of Thrones. A giant of a man who once he has you in his grasp will turn you to pulp, and that's exactly what he was doing. His thunder hammer, his anvil shield, those were all able to kill somebody in a single hit. But he's not just fighting anybody. Arjac is fighting Haarken World Claimer, the Space Marine of Chaos who's been chosen by Abaddon the Despoiler himself to be used as a horseman of the apocalypse. He goes to a planet, he impales his Hellspear, and he proclaims that in 80 days, you're done for. There's nothing you can do. Obviously, this is quite the boastful entrance to a planet, so I'm pretty sure the planet's going to retaliate if somebody comes up and says, hey, you guys are going to die in 80 days. So of course, Haarken's got to be so epic of a fighter that he's able to hold his own, and not just that, but best whatever the defenses of the planet put up to try to remove Haarken from there. So this is when we go to the polls. So on YouTube, the poll was really close. It was neck and neck, but after a little bit, Haarken took it. With 57% of the votes, Haarken won over Arjac's 43%, which was really close. However, when I polled it on YouTube, it was a unanimous vote. I think there's only one vote for Haarken, but in a landslide, Arjac Rockfist took it, and this made it even more difficult to come out with a victor. But after seeing what can go on, I figured that Haarken would take it because of his demon weapon. If it was just a regular power spear, it probably wouldn't be enough to pierce through both Terminator armor or the anvil shield. But seeing as how Arjac, he's not as slow as one would think, but still, when you're using the thrusters of the jump pack, and when you're an epic combatant such as Haarken, and you're also being blessed by chaos, that's gonna overpower this monstrous man known as Arjac. So, it did take the demon weapon powering up and the thrusters of the jump pack to pierce through the Terminator armor and eventually cut and sever the spine of Arjac Rockfist to bring him down. So with that, the Fenrisians have a more pressing issue at hand: the arrival of Abaddon. Welcome back to another episode of GrimDark Battles. It is a Sound Alchemist, and today we are pitting two warriors up against each other. On one corner we have the bloody champion of Kharn, Kharn the Betrayer, while on the other we have the most OP man in all of Warhammer 40k, Caldor Drago. So without further ado, guys, let's sit back and relax as we watch what these two characters have to bring to this epic 40k battle. So let's begin with the homie, Kharn the Betrayer. So Kharn is known as the greatest champion of Kharn, the Betrayer, the avatar of the Blood God. Now Kharn is one bad dude. He's such a badass that when Angron was forcefully teleported onto his Legion's battle barge, Angron was killing any and all Space Marines who went to see him, until Kharn showed up. Not only did he survive this encounter, but he was also named captain of the Warhounds. Many reports also indicate that Kharn literally almost killed Erebus in a duel. And during the Isstvan III betrayal, it was thought that Kharn was killed by Garvio Loken, but of course he survived. Now whether that's because of luck or because of the Blood God, that's still a mystery, but it's kind of leaning more towards Kharn. During the Siege of Terra, Kharn was literally at the forefront of every major assault, and he was the first traitor marine to breach the inner defenses. But Kharn perished in this battle. He was dead. His fellow Chaos Marines brought him back to their battle barge, and apparently he resurrected. After the bloody battle at Scalathrax, Kharn gained the nickname the Betrayer, because he ended up killing countless World Eater and Emperor Children Marines while he was lost in a berserk state. But again, Kharn has given to his patron god the skulls of Hive Tyrants, Necron Overlords, Elder Autarchs, Orc War Bosses, Demons, Imperial Officials, Space Marine Captains. The list goes on and on and on. So at the end of the day, guys, there is nobody that Kharn basically blesses more than Kharn. One can argue maybe Angron, but it's a very close tie. So with that being said, guys, let's dive on into his weapons and wargear. So the strange thing about one of his weapons is that he has a plasma pistol. Kharn is all about getting in there close and butchering anyone within his reach. Why he carries a plasma pistol? It's probably just to get a few shots in before he dives into this epic fury of bloodshed. But anyway, his main choice of weapon is his chain axe, Gorechild. Now this axe was originally Angron's, but now it is wielded by Kharn, and he has been wielding it for over 10,000 years. So the axe itself is adamantium, while the teeth were taken from one of the legendary Myga dragons of the dead world of McIntyre. When it comes to strengths and weaknesses, I gotta say that his best strength is that Kharn is blessed by the blood god, Khorne. They almost have the same name, so that's probably why they're such best buds. But because of this blessing, psychic powers do not affect him. He is 100% immune to psychic abilities, and this is a very, very huge benefit for him, especially since he's going up against the Grey Knights. And of course, Grey Knights are really powerful psychers. One weakness that is befallen on Kharn is that he's basically just a blood-hungry butcher. He goes in there, not too tactically, I would have to say. He just kind of dives into the most craziest of battles and just fights. Usually the blood god blesses him, so he's very lucky. He can avoid powerful blows that were meant to take him down. But if he does get taken down, as we've seen time and time again, he's resurrected. So this might be a problem for Khaldor Drago. Or is it? Let's find out as we dive into the lore on Drago. Khaldor Drago is the Supreme Grand Master of the entire Grey Knights chapter. He is a demon slayer. Hell, you can even call him a Primarch slayer. This man is one code SOB, and I'm not talking about Sisters of Battle. This man, as a regular Grey Knight, cast the killing blow on the demon prince Makar, but he was cursed. Let's forget about that curse for right now, because it only took Drago about 200 years to achieve the level of Grand Master. 200 years seems like a lot, but for a Space Marine, that's about 5 minutes. Now on Acrolim, Drago fought against the hordes of demons for literally 2 days straight non-stop. Choo-choo! Drago train has no brakes, guys. Round 2, Makar and Drago go at it again. Now you don't have to be a fortune teller to know that Drago won, but Makar hit him with that sneak attack and dragged Drago into the warp. Now Drago not only survived being in the warp, but he thrived. A regular human would literally go insane, but Drago didn't have any of that. He just got up and fought countless demons. He fought off Slaaneish's seduction, and when he came up to Nurgle's gardens, he saw that there was a "do not step on the grass" sign. And my boy Drago respected Grandpa Nurgle's wishes. He did not step on this grass, but Drago did burn that shit down. Holy flames of the Emperor swept across the realm of chaos, so much so that the stench of burning demonic vegetation lasted for weeks. Now think about that. Time does not exist in the warp, but that stench was lingering for days on days. Now being trapped in the warp for thousands of years gets kinda boring, so Drago decided to stir some stuff up. He went up to one of the most powerfulest bloodthirsters, Korvath, and he told him, "Is that your sword?" "Nope, it's mine now." And with his psychic might, he melted this demon blade down and reforged it to exactly the way he wanted. Badass. Now, all in all, Chaos literally just gave up. They straight up left this man alone. They stopped sending their forces to him. They literally just threw the white flag. I quit, I give up. Now, one would think, because of all this stuff, Drago is literally the most overpowered character in all of Warhammer 40k. Shoot, you guys are thinking right, because this man is unstoppable. But wait, there's more. Throw that cherry on top, guys. Drago beat the demon Primarch Mortarion in single battle. Listen, a non-Primarch Space Marine beat a Primarch that was empowered by one of the Chaos Gods. This is unheard of, guys. Primarchs are supposed to be the top of the top, and then they get that boost by being empowered by the Chaos Gods. But, Drago ain't having none of that. He literally beat him down, and he carved the name of his past Grandmaster into Mortarion's heart. Now that we know all the OP feats of accomplishments that this man has done, let's dive on over to his weapons and wargear. Nah, you know what? We don't even need that. After hearing this, we have a clear winner. Drago. So now that we know that Drago won hands down, there's no way that Kharn can beat him. How did you guys vote? So surprisingly, it wasn't a landslide. Drago won with 60% of the vote, while Kharn only had 40%. So, I need you guys to tell me down in the comments below, how in the hell can Kharn take on Drago? Kharn cannot take on a demon Primarch. Kharn cannot even beat a regular Primarch for that matter. So Drago, he's going to wipe the floor with this man. Yeah, I mean, Drago won't be able to use his psychic powers, but he doesn't need that. As we've seen time and time again, this man is just OP beyond OP. Call him Saitama, because all it takes is one punch, and all of Chaos is done for. Again, guys, please stay tuned because we have more epic GrimDark battles coming your way. Next up, we will have a Wrath against Divine battle as we pit Saint Celestine of the Sisters of Battle up against the Avatar of Cain, the Eldar God Avatar thing. So again, guys, if you haven't voted yet, go ahead and vote. And we've also got another voting poll out on there. By there, I mean on Facebook and on YouTube. It is the Swarm Lord against Herald Deathwolf. So go vote, and then stay tuned because these GrimDark battles will be coming soon. As always, guys, I'm the Sound Alchemist, and without further ado, pray that Drago doesn't come for you.